Hey everybody, it's Terry with Domicile One Realty. I wanted to talk to you briefly this segment about selling a home as is or in its present condition. Now, there are a lot of reasons people might want to come to the market where a home is not going to have any repairs as part of the contract terms. This could be because maybe you've inherited a property, maybe you're the power of attorney and someone's moving on to a senior living facility, something like that. Where you just don't see it makes no sense, or maybe you just don't have the resources to do repairs for the property. And this is fine, and we see this happen a lot. But some tips about how you could definitely still put the property in its best light, even though you're not going to make repairs. It might be just common sense type things, but it's worth going over. Number one, the yard, the house, make sure it's clean. I mean, spruce it up that way. You don't have to make updates to the bathroom, updates to the kitchen, but you can make sure that all the clutter's gone out of the house so people can get a full view of each room and you don't have a lot of contents in there. That's one thing that you can do. Secondly, if you know you have issues like a roof, foundation, whatever, go talk to some vendors and get an idea what those estimates are going to be. And your realtor is really going to be helpful on this too, because we want to think, okay, well, in this house, in this square footage, if it were ready to go, as far as move-in ready, and then we need to start subtracting out of that. And a lot of times you don't just subtract out what the repair is going to be, the cost of that. Sometimes you have to factor in a little bit of consideration, let's put it that way, for the buyer who's now going to have to go and find a vendor to go do those things. Now, let's say you have structural issues, and you think you have foundation issues. I would really recommend that you talk to a structural engineer first. It's worth it to pay the few $100s to have someone come and tell you what they would recommend, if anything, for those areas. Because once you have that, then you can go to a foundation company or whatever company and say, I want you to give me a bid for this. And you know that you've got the independent engineer who gave you the report coupled with the bid from a reputable vendor here in town. And that way you have the receipts, so to speak. A buyer can realize, okay, well, they've done their homework and now I can feel comfort in knowing these are the real deal numbers. Same with a roof. If you feel like, the roof is, needs to be replaced, get bids on that so you can price accordingly. Updates are also something that we need to factor into. If it's got old wallpaper or very old fixtures, we want to bring those, unfortunately the price just keeps going a little bit lower and lower, but that's just natural. It's just going to happen in this kind of scenario. But once you have, those are legitimate reasons for price adjustments. But what shouldn't be are, like I was saying before, cleaning, making sure the clutter is out of the house. Work with what you've got and put it in its best light, and it will be dollars in your pocket. I promise you. I hope this helps you. And if so, you shouldn't fear selling a home in its present condition. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if it's going to become very apparent to buyers and their buyers' agents that you have done your homework and you're providing as much as you can to the buyer.